Who's Radha and Krishna are they? Ah, very nice. Jai Jai. But they have name? Radha Madhav. Jai. Gauranga Radha Madhav. Huh? Can't hear you. Oh, Jai. Wow. So sing the appropriate song for our class today. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Gokulotaruni Mandala Mohite Gokul Gokulotaruni Mandala Mohite Gokul Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Damodara Rathi Vardhana Veshe Harinishkuta Vrindavipineshe. Damodara Rathi O Damodara Rathi Vardhana Veshe Harinishkuta Vrindavipineshe. Damodara Damodara Rathi Vardhana Veshe Harinishkuta Vrindavipineshe. Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. वृषभानुदधे नवशशि लेके ललिता सखी गुना रमिता विशाखे ओ वृषभानुदधे नवशशि लेके ललिता सखी गुना रमिता विशाखे वृषभानुदधे वृषभानुदधि नवशशि लेके ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे ओ राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते करुणाम कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते करुणा करुणा कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते करुणा कुरु करुणा करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते राधे जय जय माधव गायते राधे जय जय माधव गायते जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Nitai Gaur Premanande Everyone very loudly Hari Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Premanande Louder Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Oh, it's not sparkling. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtachade Satarane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Iti Namane Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namane Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam karoti vachalam bhangam langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun dinataranam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Namo Mahabhajanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trishe Nama Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namah Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kiptascha Kamadi Taranga Madhye Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, that I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So we've come to the extra part 2 in this book, Raghavartma Chandrika. And we have So here, today, this is the topic, is Swakiya Parakiya. We're all familiar, most of us, with this term, Swakiya and Parakiya. Right? That's what we're going to do today. Not we are going to do it, they are going to do it. Because this topic, there will be 4 different sections. And the first section of this topic is established by the Shastras, the conception of Srila Jiva Goswami in this regard. Srila Jiva Goswami. And of course, it's very well understood by those who read the books of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj that Jiva Goswami seems apparently to have a different conception than what is put forward in the glorification of Parakiya Ras and regarding Radha and Krishna's relationship. Okay? So there's going to be then, after Jiva Goswami, then the line of thought in this regard of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, right? And that's very important for us because he's practically the main acharya that our Gurudev would always be referring to. Then in the third part, there's the opinion of various other Vaishnavas in this regard. And then finally, we come to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur on this topic of Swakiya and Parakiya. So, is Radha and Krishna married? Are Radha and Krishna married? Are they in Swakiya Ras? Are they performing Swakiya Ras? If you think that they're married, raise your hand. No, actual marriage. They live together 24 hours as husband and wife, not playing marriage. We know about that. Okay? So are Radha and Krishna married? Very good. We have an audience that has some little bit of a qualification to understand Parakiya Bhav. You know the song that we sing? If someone is staying in our mutts or at their home, and after Mangalartik, the song Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan, a very beautiful song, putting forward the moods and the personalities and everything regarding Braj. And then Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Now comes Ras Leela. Ras Leela is the highest of all of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. It's called their Maha Leela. Did you ever hear that term for the Ras Leela? The Maha Leela. Why is it called that? Because it contains all the other Leelas within it. Ras Leela. And this is the supreme exhibition of the highest tasting of rasa by the highest tasters of rasa, especially Shri Krishna himself, who is called what? Yes, Rasika Shekhar, most expert Shekhar of all Rasikas, those who are relishing and tasting rasa. So after that, Jai Jai Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. It is Sarva Manoram means it is attracting the minds of everyone in the universe, in the creation. It is so attractive. If you want to understand, you have to read 10th canto, you have to read the 5 chapters of Ras Leela called Ras Panchadhyay, then you have to read Srila Gurudev Narayan Maharaj's book called Ras Panchadhyay. The 5 chapters of Ras Leela, and there he brings all the commentaries of the Acharyas to understand very deeply what is this Ras Leela. So, Jaya Jai Ujjvala Rasa. Sarva Rasa Sar. What does that mean? What is Ujjval Ras? Ujjvala. Huh? What rasa is it? Is it Sakya Ras? Huh? It is absolute Madhurya Ras, Ujjvala Ras. And to understand that topic of Ujjvala Ras, who wrote the book? Rupa Goswami. Yeah. Ujjvala Nilamani. The bluish jewel of Ujjvala Ras. Who is that? Krishna. He's the object of Ujjvala Ras from the side of the gopis. So, Jai Jai Ujjvala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar. That means this is the essence, the sar, of all rasas. There is no other rasa to compare at all with Ujjvala Rasa. Sarva Rasa Sar. And within Ujjvala Rasa, there is the type of Ujjvala Rasa called Parakiya Rasa. What does Parakiya mean? What does Parakiya, the word Parakiya, mean? It means having another lover besides your husband. Para means other. Parakiya. Parakiya Bhav, Parakiya Ras. Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajete Prachar. In Braj, this is what is being promoted, supported with every single pastime. They're all supporting Parakiya Rasa. How Radha and Krishna will meet together secretly, not openly. Much more exciting. There's a different type of mood. In the material world, it's abominable. It's disgusting. It's based nothing on except lust. But the secret meeting of Radha and Krishna is the essence of all service to their lotus feet. Performed by who? The topmost of all of the associates of Radha and Krishna, the Braja Gopis. They are all assisting this Milan, this meeting of Radha and Krishna. It goes on forever and ever and ever, eternally, and it's unlimited. Every single day, Krishna is doing this in multifarious ways, meeting secretly with the gopis. And it's full of all the different features of comedy and dread and all the different seven sub-rasas. So, Parakiya Ras is Mahaprabhu's mood, because he has descended to experience and taste the moods of Mahabhav, Swarupini, Srimati Radhika, who is the very embodiment of Mahabhav. Her body is made of Mahabhav. No other gopi is like Srimati Radhika. No other. Because she is Mahabhav personified. All are her extensions. So, Gurudev is telling, we are presenting here the essence of Srila Jiva Goswami's and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's views on the Lord's marital love, Svakya, and Paramur love, Parakiya, as imparted in their commentaries on verse 2.21 of Sri Ujjvala Nilamani. That's what this is their commentaries on that particular verse. Both of these great devotees have very skillfully given their respective visions of the same ultimate absolute truth from the viewpoint of established truth and from the viewpoint of the Lord's pastimes, and based on logic and the proof from the scriptures. So, the conceptions of Srila Jiva Goswami. Number one. There's all different numbers for each one, each different analysis. It goes up to 12 different basic points being drawn out by Jiva Goswami. So, the conceptions of Srila Jiva Goswami, according to the standards of mundane society, the characteristics that are attributed to an ordinary paramour, that is called a upapati, they are in no way applicable to Sri Krishna. What does that mean? That means that the abominable, extramarital affairs that people indulge in the material world is absolutely gross. And it has no comparison at all to Krishna and Radha and their so-called extramarital affairs. Because they're married, are they not? I'm talking about the gopis, not Krishna and Radha. The gopis, they're all married. You can't be a gopi in Braj unless you have a husband. Remember yesterday we were reading, or the day before, about Lord Shiva? And how when the gopis came to investigate this new gopi, they asked questions, and the new gopi could only stare at them without even speaking anything. Why? Who is your husband? What village are you from? Who is your father? Who is your mother? Because he was not given his what? His ekadas bhavs. That means his 11 items of the spiritual body. This has to be there. Otherwise you can't be a gopi in Braj. So you can't compare. Here Jiva Goswami is saying these standards of mundane society and the characteristics that are attributed to ordinary paramour. There is no parakya bhav in the Lord's eternal pastimes. Now, Jiva Goswami just said there is no parakya bhav in the Lord's eternal pastimes. However, through Maya, for the nourishment of some special rasa, there is only a belief in paramour love in the Lord's manifest pastimes. A belief. A similar illusion is also demonstrated in the pastime of Brahma's bewilderment described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's the first point made by Jiva Goswami. Can we understand it? No. We cannot fully understand from what we just heard. Number two, in the devotional mellow of amorous love, that means Shringar Ras, the love of a paramour gives rise to conflicting mellows, Ras Abhas. Shringar Ras has been described as supremely pure. This is from the Sahitya Darpana. Shringo hi mamatod vedas tad agamana hetuka uttama prakriti prayo rasa shringara ishyate. In his explanation of the phrase Uttama Prakriti Praya, Srila Jiva Goswami has quoted the words Shringara Suchir Ujvala from the prominent Sanskrit dictionary Amarkosh, which states that the three words Shringar, Shuchi, and Ujvala are all synonymous. Therefore, the use of the word Shuchi, which means pure, it signifies that there is never any possibility of the immorality of paramour love in the sacred and pure love, Ujvala Rasa, shared between Sri Krishna and the gopis. In contrast, in Trikanda Desh, which is another Sanskrit dictionary, the word jara is defined as an illicit lover. Jara. Number three, the scripture known as the Natya Alankar also describes a paramour as being despicable. The Sahitya Darpana states as follows. Upanayaka samstayam muni guru patni gatayam cha bahunayaka vishayayam rato cha tata anubhava nishtayam. The amorous desire that a woman has for her paramour or for many lovers that a man has for the wife of a sage or a spiritual master, or that which exists between a man and woman who are not faithful to each other, it is considered improper in Shringar Ras. So what are the three types being mentioned here of being despicable? That means the amorous desire that a woman has for her paramour or for many lovers. Second one, that a man has for the wife of a sage or a spiritual master. Third one, that which exists between a man and woman who are not faithful to each other. So these are all considered improper in Shringar Ras. Number 4. Sri Krishna personally pointed out the fault of extramarital love. He pointed it out. Do you know where? In the 29th chapter of the 10th canto, when he called the gopis and the gopis came, and then there was a conversation that Krishna had with the gopis. And Krishna said this particular verse, which is now being quoted. Asvargyam ayashashyam cha falgu krishram vayavaham jugupsitam cha sarvatra hyo papatyam kulasriya. For a woman from a respectable family, Krishna is telling this to the gopis, adulterous service to a paramour, it is always condemned. Such behavior spoils her passage to the other world. It bars her from entering the heavenly planets. And it brings her disgrace in this world as well. Such sinful conduct is not only extremely low class and fleeting in nature, but even in the present is also only a source of suffering, leading directly to a hellish existence. Now that's a pretty heavy statement by Lord Krishna, isn't it? Because he's trying to tell the gopis, do you know what you're doing by meeting with me in this way? Number 5, Parikshit Maharaj. He also has said in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 33rd chapter of the 10th canto, Apta kamo yadupati kritavan vai jugupsitam. With what motive did the self-satisfied leader of the Yadus, self-satisfied means aptakam, with what motive did the self-satisfied leader of the Yadus, Sri Krishna, perform this reprehensible activity? That was a question asked at the end of the Ras Leela 5 chapters by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. But why is he asking such a question? Well, if you read there, you'll understand that he wanted to clarify because there will be people, and there always will be, and there are at the present day, people who read this and say, oh, this is immoral. Well, we can't hear this. This is immorality. So therefore, he's asking that question. Number 6, these statements describing the fault of an adulterer must be understood for lovers other than Krishna, right? Because you can't put Krishna in that category. So it must be understood that it is referring to only those other than Krishna. It is not possible for Krishna to possess these flaws. Why? Because he is descended for the purpose of tasting the transcendental amorous mellow, Madhur Rasa. Is Madhur Rasa a good thing? Huh? Is Madhur Rasa a good thing? Only about 1/4 of you are actually on track with this. Is Madhur Ras a good thing for us to attain? Is that good or not good? Huh? It's the highest? Yes. Yes. So now, Krishna descended for the purpose of tasting that transcendental amorous mellow called Madhur Rasa. So there's no fault. You cannot call Krishna at fault in any way or at all. Number 7. Krishna has a special eternal marital relationship. That means Nitya Dampatayamai with the gopis. In verse 37 of the Brahma Samhita, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabirya Eva Nija Rupa Taya Kalabi. The word Nija Rupataya, it means Sva Darat Venaiva Na Tu Prakata Leelavat Paradaratva Vyavaharanetya Artha, which means in the eternal unmanifest pastimes, the gopis who are filled with transcendental blissful ras, they do not nourish the pastimes in the paramour mood in the same way that they nourish them in the manifest pastimes. The unmanifest pastimes means nityadam. So what he's saying here is that paramour mood is being nourished in the manifest pastimes, Bom Lila. Now in the unmanifest pastimes, the gopis, as the foremost goddesses of fortune, they have no sentiment other than that of being Krishna's eternally wedded wives. In the unmanifest pastimes, Nityadam. Therefore, in the Lord's pastimes that are manifested in the material world, the gopis' mood of being the wives of men other than Krishna is manifested by Maya. Number 8. The scriptures state that Krishna is the pati. He is the husband of the gopis. Where is that stated? In the Gautamiya Tantra, describes that Nandanandan Sri Krishna is the husband of the gopis who achieve perfection after many births. The gopis. Here's the verse. Aneka janma siddhanam gopinam patir evava. Nanda Nandana ityuktas Trailokyananda Vardhana. Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, increases the bliss of the 3 worlds, and he is the pati, and he is the protector of those gopis who attain perfection after many births. Now Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33, again, the last chapter of the Ras Leela chapters. It also affirms that Sri Krishna is the pati of the gopis' husbands, and of all embodied beings. So Krishna is also the husband of the gopis. And not only that, he's the pati of all living beings. Gopinam tat patinam cha sarvesham eva dehinam yontas charati sodhyakshya kridaneha dehabak. He who lives as the overseeing witness within the gopis and their husbands, and indeed within all embodied beings, he assumes forms in this world for the purpose of enjoying transcendental pastimes. So number 9, the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, verse 23, it confirms that Sri Krishna is Swami, means the husband of the gopis. So, Savo hi Swami Bhavati. So all of these are being mentioned by Jiva Goswami. Number 10, Parakya Bhav. is not possible for the goddesses of fortune. He's making this point, Jiva Goswami, that Parakya Bhav is not possible for the goddesses of fortune. Sri Krishna's intimate beloveds, that is his Vallabhas, they are actually goddesses of fortune. They are regarded as such in Brahma Samhita, where it is stated, Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamanam, that in Goloka Vrindavan, Govinda is served by millions of goddesses of fortune in the form of gopis. Shri Krishna has also addressed Srimati Radhika as Akhil Loka Lakshmi, that is the fountainhead of all goddesses of fortune, Akhila Loka Lakshmi. The fountainhead of all goddesses of fortune that are situated throughout all the worlds. Krishna has addressed Radhika in that way. Krishna is described as Upapati only because he appears to be like a paramour in the manifest pastimes. So you follow? What is the angle of vision being presented here? Because from the viewpoint of Tattva, Krishna is married to all the gopis, but from the viewpoint of rasa, then another. Number 11, scriptures that delineate rasa, they're called rasa shastras. So these scriptures consider the following aspects of loving affairs to be super excellent. Number 1, Bahu Varanata. Bahuvaranata means repeatedly forbidding the advances of the lover and thereby intensifying his desire. Number 2, Prachanna Kamukata. That means keeping amorous desires hidden. Number 3, Durlabhata. Facing impediments and meeting with the beloved. Impediments. This is applicable only in relation to mundane rasa shastra. And the final point, number 12, although the above mentioned 3 aspects, they are not present in Samartha Rati, that is the love of the gopis, which is capable of controlling Krishna. No, those 3 are not present in the gopis' love, Samartha Rati. But still, Shringar Ras is sufficiently nourished, so much so that even Madhanakya Mahabhav is observed in its highest degree. And therefore there is no necessity whatsoever of Parakya Bhav, although it seems that Parakya Bhav exists in the Lord's manifest pastimes. It is simply an invention of Maya, illusion. So in conclusion, Srila Jiva Goswami has written the following verse, and you've heard this before, where he's describing why he writes certain things and then why he writes other things. Here's his verse. Svechaya likitam kinchit, kinchid atra parechaya, yat purva parasambandham, tat purvam aparam param. So, this is the statement of Jiva Goswami on this subject. Which subject? Parakya Swakya. On this subject, I have composed some of the parts that I've composed, according to my own desire, and some other parts according to the desire of others. Those parts referring to Parakya that are related to the previous and the following sections, they have been written out of my wish. And whatever is not consistent with these portions has been written out of the desire of others. It should be understood in this way. So that's Jiva Goswami's. Got it? Got it up here now? Okay, keep that there. Now we're going to read the line of thought of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You're going to find it to be quite different from what Jiva Goswami is saying, because he is the Acharya of Parakya Rasa. So, The line of thought of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Chakravarti Pad maintains that Srila Jiva Goswami is one of the prominent Rupanuga Vaishnavas, and therefore it is not possible for him to give an explanation in favor of Swakiya marital love. It just appeared so that he gave that explanation. But what is Vishwanath Chakravarti? No, it's not possible because he's the topmost Rupanuga Vaishnava, so it's not possible. Whatever he has explained supporting Swakiya, he has done simply to satisfy others. Therefore, concluding his explanation, Jiva Goswami himself has agreed, Likitam kinchid atra parechaya, that I have written this to satisfy the desires of others. So to allow unqualified persons of different inclinations to understand that the Lord's inconceivable pastimes with the Braja Gopis are completely immaculate, he has presented his commentary in support of Swakiya, so that those persons, they too, can come forward to meditate on these pastimes with unwavering faith. Because otherwise, there's some disturbance in them. That was a different era than right now. Kali Yuga. So in order to give them a chance to meditate with great faith in Krishna's Parakiya Rasa, so he did that. But for the surrendered, intimate devotees of Sriman Mahaprabhu, however, this explanation can never be acceptable, because it is not fully consistent with the topics found elsewhere throughout Srila Jiva Goswami's writings. So that's the first point. No. Now comes the first point. That's the introduction to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. First point. Quote, the Paramore mood is opposed to the principles of religious life, Dharma, and it leads to hellish life. The Paramore mood. It's opposed to the principles of Dharma, and it leads to hellish life. End quote. This statement refers only to who? Worldly lovers. But how can there be even the slightest doubt regarding Sri Krishna, the crown jewel ruler of religiosity and irreligiosity? The meeting of mundane romantic partners, it is touched by immorality. But Sri Krishna, the topmost performer of pastimes, known as Leela Purushottam, who creates and destroys the innumerable universes simply by a movement of his eyebrow, and the gopis, who as the embodiments of the pleasure-giving potency Ladini Shakti, are the most prominent among all his immeasurable potencies, they can never be touched by this fault. Never. In this regard, we can quote Winston Churchill. You know that famous lecture where he's trying to rouse everybody in the Second World War to fight? At the very end of his lecture he says, we will never give in, right? And he said, never! 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 And he ended his lecture. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, with a different tone of voice, is saying, never can there be any fault in the gopis or in Krishna. Never. Thus, Srila Rupa Goswami has written in Natak Chandrika, he wrote as follows, quote, it should be understood that whatever scholars have described as inferior, about extramarital affairs between a married woman and her paramour, it applies only to mundane lovers, not to Sri Krishna and the gopis, end quote. Rupa Goswami. This is also the opinion of Sri Kavi Karnapur in his Alankara Kaustuba, that this Upapati Bhav for the transcendentally perfect Sri Krishna and Parakiya Bhav for the gopis, they are not defects or dushana. They're not defects. Upapati Bhav. Because Krishna is transcendently perfect and the gopis they have no defects. So the Parakiya, so this Upapati Bhav for the transcendently perfect Sri Krishna and Parakiya Bhav for the gopis, they are not defects. Rather, they are their ornaments, their bhushana. Number 2. So there are 20 points. His is much longer than Jiva Goswami's. Number 2, Sri Krishna's manifest pastimes, they are not illusory. In reality, there is no distinction between the manifest and the unmanifest pastimes. No distinction. Between what? Between the pastimes that Krishna shows in the material world and those that are going on eternally in the spiritual world, the Nityadhama. Here, Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, in reality, there is no distinction between the manifest and the unmanifest pastimes. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami's thought in regard to verse 43 of the Brahma Samhita, it's worth considering and also following. So when, to show mercy to the living entities, Sri Krishna manifests his incomparably sweet pastimes in the material world, then this is called Prakat Lila, manifest pastimes. And when these pastimes disappear from the eyes of the living entities in the material realm, it is called Aprakat Lila. Aprakat. Prakat and Aprakat. Unmanifest pastimes. Now in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami states, Anadim eva janmadi lilam eva tatad bhutam hetuna kenachit Krishna pradushkuryat kadachana. Quote, even though Krishna is unborn, his birth and his other pastimes are supremely wonderful. For various reasons, he manifests such greatly astonishing transcendental pastimes in the material world. Does he manifest those in the Prakat? Does Krishna have a birth pastime in the eternal transcendental world? He doesn't? What? Is Krishna born from the womb of Mother Yashoda in the vision of all the Brijvasis? In the spiritual world, in the eternal Goloka Vrindavan? Huh? I can't hear you. Why did they think like that? Huh? Look, it's very simple. One word answers that question. Yogamaya. So Yogamaya manifests Krishna's pastimes in the Prakat Lila. But she also manifests the eternal pastimes there. But Krishna, he eternally feels himself to be. We read that in this book here, again and again and again, that Krishna genuinely understands that he's the son of Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda genuinely understands. Now here in this world, Gurudev said, if you try to tell any Brijvasi in this world that Krishna is not the son of Mother Yashoda, he's the son of Devaki, that Brijvasi will look at you and say, what are you talking about? We witnessed it with our eyes, that Krishna came from the womb of Mother Yashoda. There was a cutting of the umbilical cord, so get far away from me. I don't want to hear you or see you. Krishna is only the son of Mother Yashoda, no one else. Never ever will be, never ever was. Only the son of Mother Yashoda. But we're discussing, is there a birth pastime there? Will the Brijbasis say like that? They don't have to, because they don't have to defend. Everybody there understands. But in this, then there's Kamsa and there's all. Are there demons there? No. But there's the conception created by Yogamaya, which is permanent, eternal truth. The conception that Krishna is the son of Mother Yashoda is the eternal, transcendental truth. Although it's created by Maya. We heard Jiva Goswami has said that again and again, what we just read. Maya, Maya. He doesn't say Yoga Maya, he says Maya, because Maya means Krishna's energy. So there's a conception, an illusion, or whatever you want to call it. But in the transcendental world, it's not being looked at from that angle, that this is an illusion. No, it's the reality. It's the reality. Anything other than that is illusion. See? So this is very subtle. Any devotee of Krishna, the student of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to very deeply understand this conception of Prakat, Aprakat Leela, Krishna, this conception of Krishna and the gopis and so forth. Okay, so Rupa Goswami in the Laghu Bhagavatamritam, he states that even though Krishna is unborn, his birth and his other pastimes are supremely wonderful. For various reasons, he manifests such greatly astonishing transcendental pastimes in the material world. Number three, it is illogical to think that there is an eternal husband-wife relationship. Again, number three, it is illogical to think that there is an eternal husband-wife relationship in the unmanifest pastimes and an illusory paramour love in the manifest pastime. You got that? Did you follow that? No. It is illogical. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling. It is illogical to think that there is an eternal husband-wife relationship in the unmanifest pastimes, in the Nityadam. Eternal husband-wife relationship in the Nityadam, and that an illusory paramour love is there in the manifest pastimes. He says this is illogical to think in this way, because paramour love is splendidly manifest throughout the rasa dance, the crown jewel of all Krishna's pastimes from beginning to end. It is totally inappropriate to consider this pastime illusory. So in each and every chapter of the Ras Panchadhyay, the 5 chapters of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that describe the Ras Leela, there are many proofs supporting extramarital love and paramourship. Now, Sri Shukadev Goswami has clearly established the male and female paramour moods, upapati and parodha bhavs, respectively. Shukadev Goswami has established this. How? By quoting the following verses spoken directly by Sri Krishna and by the gopis. And here he gives a group of verses. First one from the 29th chapter of 10th canto, 8th verse. Ta varyamana patibi. Then 29th chapter. Bratara patayascha va. Then again the 29th chapter. Yat patya upatya suhridam anuvrittiranga. Then the 30th chapter. These are just the Sanskrit quotes. but good to hear. Tadgunan eva gayanto nat magarani samsmaru. That's from the 30th chapter. Then from the 31st chapter, Pati Sutanvaya Bratri Bandavan, for the 31st chapter. Then 32nd chapter, Evam Mad Arto Jita Loka Veda Svanam. Then the 33rd chapter, Kritva Tavantam Atmanam Yavatir Gopayoshita. Then finally, 33rd chapter, Manyamana Swa Parshvastan Svan Daran Vrajokasha. So, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti, after quoting these, then he says, and so on. So what he's doing is he's giving the evidence, the praman, that Shukadev Goswami has clearly established the male and the female paramour moods, Upapati and Paroda Bhavs, by quoting the following verses spoken directly by Sri Krishna and by the gopis. So number 4, if the rasa dance were illusory or a product of Maya, then how would we be able to prove the superiority of the gopis over the goddesses of fortune, over the Lakshmis? How would we be able to prove that the gopis are in a much, much superior position to the Lakshmis? If the rasa dance were created by illusion. Now, on the basis of the Ras Leela, Srimad Bhagavatam affirms that the gopis are greater than the goddesses of fortune. Which verse? A very famous one. Nayom Shriyonga Unitanta Rate Prasada. Meaning that the gopis received that supremely rare mercy of Sri Krishna, which even the goddess of fortune Lakshmi could never attain. So if the rasa dance were illusory, then the greatness of the gopis would be unfounded and false. Number 5. The Ras Leela has not been described by anyone, anywhere, as an affair between married couples. Is it? Anyone? Any Shastra, anywhere, has ever told that the Ras Leela is between married couples? Never. Number 6. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is really putting forward a lot of ammunition. Number 6, if we reject those sections of the 10th canto that validate paramour love, considering them erroneous, then we cannot derive any benefit from the Ras Leela, if we consider them to be erroneous. So in this context, Sri Krishna has personally said in Bhagavatam chapter 32, 10th canto, the famous verse, Na parayeham niravadya samyujam. Your meeting with me, Krishna is telling the gopis, is most pure and faultless in all respects. I am unable to repay you for your saintly behavior. If the rasa dance is illusory, then the proof provided by this portion of this verse that substantiates the super excellence of the gopis' prem, then it becomes rendered baseless and insubstantial. 7. In this same verse, the phrase Yama Bhajan Durjara Geha Shrinkala. This also offers evidence supporting paramour love. Means cutting the indestructible shackles of household life, the Braja damsels serve Sri Krishna with single-pointed attention. So expressing his inability to repay them for their loving service and sacrifice, Sri Krishna was rendered eternally indebted to them. And he was thus controlled by their love. This is the eternal and the highest truth. If Ras Leela is illusory, then this actual fact would also be false. Number 8. It would be illogical to say that Krishna is deceitful, and that, as a shrewd trick, he expressed his indebtedness to the gopis only to flatter them. Very illogical to say that. Krishna is just showing a shrewd trick to flatter the gopis. Oh, I'm eternally indebted to you. If their selfless dedication to him were only illusory and transient, why then did Uddhav, the exalted scholar, the crown jewel of exclusive devotees, why did he point out this quality of theirs as the pinnacle of devotion? Why? If it's just illusory and transient. Why did he yearn to take birth as a creeper or a blade of grass in Vrindavan in order to be bathed in the gopis' foot dust? Who prayed for that? Who? Asamaho charanarenu jashamaham shyam vrindavane kimapi gulmalato shadhinam. Is it not proved by this verse that the gopis' prem is superior to that of the queens of Dwarka? This prem is unequaled and super excellent because the gopis demonstrate intense, undivided, spontaneous love, anurag for Krishna, having forsaken their family relations and even their virtuous conduct. So if one thinks this sacrifice of the gopis to be an act of the illusory Maya, then the cause of the excellence of their prem would also have to be unreal. If that's Maya, then the excellence of their prem would have to be unreal. So thus, in turn, the statements of the one-pointed devotee, Sri Uddhava, would be proved false as well. Would the proponent of such an opinion not be guilty of the fault of refusing to accept the words of trustworthy authorities? Number 9. The meaning of the 10 and the 18-syllable Gopal mantra is also full of the paramour mood. This secret, it is not hidden from those who know the extraordinary power of transcendental sound. Number 10. A glimpse of the paramour mood is seen in the different meditations and mantras for worshipping Sri Krishna. Paramour. Number 11. Sadhaks in the fully mature stage of meditation directly perceive the moods of the manifest pastimes. Which sadhaks can directly perceive? Those who are fully mature in their meditation, they directly perceive the moods of the manifest pastimes. So therefore, these pastimes are not transitory or illusory, proven by that fact. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 9, mentions that the birth and the activities of the Supreme Lord are all transcendental. What verse is that? Janma karma. Wow. Everyone repeat after me. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo veti tattvataha. Tyaktva deham punar janma. Naiti mameti sorjuna. So he's saying that in that verse, he's mentioning that the birth and the activities of the Supreme Lord are all transcendental. Divyam. Then the respected Sri Ramanujacharya, in his commentary on this verse, he establishes the eternality of the birth and the activities of the Lord and his associates. Similarly, Sri Madhusudan Saraswati, he also explains that the word divya means aprakrita. It means beyond the material realm. The Purusha Bodhini Shruti, the Upanishad that is explained in the disciplic succession of Pipalada Rishi, also states that the Lord's pastimes are eternal. Eko Devo Nitya Lilanu Rakto Bhakta Vyapi Bhakta Hridaya Dhyantaratma. So in his sacred text, entitled Vidvan Mandalana, Sri Vittalanath, he affirms the timelessness of the Lord's birth and activities. And the Brihad Vaman Purana also testifies to the perpetual nature of the manifest pastimes. So the Lord says, by accepting me as your paramour, this is from the Brihad Vamana Purana, Krishna is stating to the gopis that by accepting me as your paramour, all of you will develop boundlessly deep feelings of love and affection for me. Thus, every aspect of your lives will be filled with success. So that's the presentation of the 11th point. Number 12. The names of Sri Bhagavan are eternal. Are they eternal? Does anyone here think that Krishna's names are temporary, like our names? Does everyone understand and believe that the names of Sri Bhagavan are eternal? Very good. That means you're devotees of Krishna. So for each of his pastimes, a specific name is designated. Because although the names of Bhagavan are eternal, but for each of his pastimes a specific name is designated. If his pastimes are transitory, then his names like Ras Bihari and so on, they would also have to be impermanent. If this were so, the essence of bhajan would also become false. The essence of bhajan would become false. So to consider the Lord's holy names to be temporary, this is actually what? Nam aparad. What is it? Yes, it is offense to consider the Lord's names to be temporary. Number 13. In the Bhagavat Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami has personally established that the Lord's name, birth, activities, and so on are eternal. He also proves that the pastimes pertaining to the Lord's form, his incarnation, birth, activities, and associates, they are unlimited, timeless manifestations of his internal potency, his Swarup Shakti. So if all these are eternal according to Srila Jiva Goswami's views, then how can the Lord's pastimes that are full of paramour love be considered illusory? Okay. Number 14. It is not mentioned anywhere in the scriptures that the Vraja maidens were married to Krishna with the Brahmanas and the sacrificial fire present as witnesses. Would Sri Shukadev Goswami agree with anyone saying this? When Parikshit Maharaj raised a question expressing doubt about the paramour mood of Sri Krishna, who is the establisher of religious principles and whose every desire is fulfilled, meaning apta kam, so when Parikshit Maharaj raised this question expressing doubt about paramour relationship of Sri Krishna, then Sri Shukadev Goswami could have clearly stated, hello? Yes. Leave in the office, please, okay? Leave in office. In office. put in office. Yes, hello. Leave the package in the office. Okay? Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
When Ram stole the cows, calves, and cowherd boy, it was actually a year here on earth. Although it's just a moment of
They can't hear you because all the fans.
When Lord Brahma stole the calves and cows that Krishna was raising them, a year on this planet. And we know that when Rama came back, with a moment where the whole year had passed, he saw that Krishna was still there, manifested in forms as all the calves and all the cows. So during that year, Gargamuni mentioned to the gopis who had their little children, and some of them were even in the womb. Now it's a very auspicious time. You should marry your daughters to the cowherd boys in this year. So one can also say, and I was going to wait till the end, but since he's bringing it up on this, there was fire sacrifices, there were Brahmins present, mantras chanted, Krishna was in the form of those cowherd boys, and there were marriages to those gopis. Do you want to make any comment?
What's your comment on it?
Gurudev mentioned that Krishna took that opportunity to create a pastime which in the future Krishna would be criticized. But however, if you understand this pastime, Krishna tricked those gopis and those cowherd boys and was himself. And the gopis had extremely more affection to their boys than they had ever before. And they always wanted in their hearts, and they felt that Krishna, I just wish he was my son. The cows were having similar feelings. They wished that their calves were Krishna so we could give them his milk. And Krishna gave them, fulfilled those desires of those cows and those gopis. So he manifested also, I don't even know if I forget, I've read this, but I forget if Krishna Chakravarti mentioned it. But Gurudev mentions that, and he also brought it up in some commentaries, I forget where, that this pastime of marrying the gopis, Krishna was taking the forms of the cowherd boys that were stolen. It will eradicate this doubt.
What was that last sentence again? The last point?
If anyone has a doubt, and it can't be resolved any other way, then when Krishna wanted to manifest a Leela, which he could say to those doubters, that actually I married those gopis in the form of this cowherd boys.
Okay. Good point. But they were not aware that they were marrying Krishna. Yeah, they were not aware of it. But what was Krishna doing by manifesting as the cowherd boys, as being married to the cowherd girls? So Krishna was fulfilling their heart's desire, right? And also the heart's desire of the parents, and also the heart's desire of the cows, wanting to have Krishna as their very own calf that they can feed milk to, like that. So that, from that angle.
Also, when he stole the gopis' clothes when they were bathing in Yamuna,
Yeah.
they were cut down dry.
Right.
So fulfilled their desire and told them to come out of the river naked because only the husband has that right of seeing the lady.
Right. So, that pastime, they were actually praying that we want Krishna as our husband. But then after the clothes stealing pastime was completed, then Krishna said, all your desires will be fulfilled in the future coming full moon nights. And then Ras Leela was the means through which he fulfilled. Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj. So where are we? By accepting me as your Parama. Yeah, so in the Brihad Vamana Purana, then Krishna tells to the gopis that by accepting me as your paramour, all of you will develop boundlessly deep feelings of love and affection for me. And thus, every aspect of your lives will be filled with success. Now coming to number 12. The names of Sri Bhagavan are eternal. Oh, we just read that. On 13 or 14? 14. Yes. Okay. Number 14. It is not mentioned anywhere in the scriptures that the Braja maidens were married to Krishna with the Brahmana and the sacrificial fire present as witnesses. Would Sri Shukadev Goswami agree with anyone saying this? So when Parikshit Maharaj raised a question expressing doubt about the paramour mood of Sri Krishna, who is the establisher of religious principles and whose every desire is fulfilled, aptakam, Sri Shukadev Goswami could have clearly stated that these gopis were the married wives of Krishna, not of anyone else. So why then did he try to make Parikshit Maharaj understand the subject through the presentation of arduous philosophical conclusions? And there is another point to be considered here. If Sri Krishna had married in Vraja, then the wedding would have taken place before his sacred thread ceremony was performed in Mathura. Would this not be against Arya Shastra, the scripture governing the conduct of civilized society? There you go. Number 15. Turn it down a bit. Down a bit. Down. Number 15. We see that the word pati, it is mentioned in a few places. The word pati is mentioned, I only said turn it down, not off. Oh, it only has 2 speeds. Oh, that means it's either this one or that one. Swakiya or Parakiya, not both. So we see that the word pati is mentioned in a few places, although it often denotes husband, but its use here does not refer to a married man. Rather, it should be understood as gati. Pati, gati, meaning that you are my everything. You are my ultimate shelter, my gati. It is incorrect to say that pati refers only to a married man, the husband of a female lover, a naika. For example, in the chapter in Ujjvala Nilamani describing various types of naikas, the term svadhin bhadrika, meaning a woman who controls her pati, is used in relation to paramour love. Now furthermore, although the Shastras may refer to Krishna as the pati of the naikas in some places, it is described elsewhere that he has no marital relationships with those naikas, no marital relationships. If Sri Krishna were their married husband, then the topic paradara bimarshana, that means to enjoy with another's wife, it would not arise. So Srimad Bhagavatam also mentions the Vraja maidens' husbands. And moreover, it is also stated that the gopis never had union with their husbands at any time. In the Ujjvala Nilamani, Najatu Vrajadevinam Patibi Saha Sangama. They never had union with their so-called husbands. And that's why they're called so-called. because they're actually created by Yogamaya, that relationship. They cannot even touch the gopis. Okay, so now we're on 16. In the statement, Savo hi Swami Bhavati, from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. So the word Swami indicates Aishwarya, not marriage. Savo hi Swami Bhavati. So this is authenticated in Panini's grammar, which says Swamin Aishwarya. However, some texts cite the following application: Loke hi yasya hi ya swami bhavati, satasya bhokta bhavati bhi. That in this world, swami is he who maintains and supports others, like a king or any magnanimous benefactor. And also it means who is the enjoyer of all. Therefore, the word swami does not always refer to a husband. Number 17. All relationships in Braj, all the different relationships in Braj are transcendental. Are they? All the relationships in Braj? Is the relationships with the birds and Krishna in Braj transcendental? The relationship with the trees, the Yamuna River, the clouds? Are they all transcendental? Yes. All the sakas, all the sakis, all the cows, everyone? Are they all transcendental in Braj? Yes. All relationships in Braja are transcendental. Wherever Srila Jiva Goswami has used the word Maya in relation to Parakya Bhav, remember we just read Jiva Goswami, and again, Maya, Maya, this is created by Maya. So, wherever Srila Jiva Goswami has used the word Maya in relation to Parakya Bhav, it should be understood as what? Yoga Maya. So therefore, Srimati Radhika's acceptance of Abhimanyu as her husband, it should be seen as a transcendental arrangement, as one inseparable link in the chain of the Lord's pastimes. This relationship is also not illusory. Yoga Maya is behind it. Number 18. Srimati Radhika is the embodiment of Sri Krishna's Ladini Shakti, his pleasure potency. Of this, there is no doubt. The object of our adoration is the divine couple, Radha Krishna, along with their special pastimes. That is the object of our adoration. To worship Radha Krishna devoid of their pastimes is outside our line of thought, and it is outside our concept of bhajan. Number 18. Number 19. One may question why the Vraja maidens are seen to endure bad reputation, mental agony, and torment inflicted by who? Their mothers-in-law, their sisters-in-law, who prohibit them from meeting with Krishna. Whereas this is not so for Satyabhama, Rukmini, and the other queens of Dwarka. One might thus conclude that compared to Rukmini, the gopis' position is inferior. However, just as apparently mundane distress is witnessed in the gopis, who are filled with the most elevated form of divine love known as Mahabhav, they are also seen to experience happiness to a much higher degree than others. And finally, number 20 of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comments. The gopis' relationship with Krishna is the result of their inconceivable anurag for him. That's why they have that relationship. This relationship is the result of their anurag, inconceivable anurag. So to establish this bond with him, the cowherd maidens had to give up their family members, thus cutting themselves off from the path of respectability. However, they experienced all resultant anguish and unhappiness as the highest pleasure. Can we find any other example of such an elevated expression of love? So the worshipful Srila Jiva Goswami, he also desired the unique and supramundane anurag of the gopis, who are filled with Mahabhav. There is no doubt about this. So therefore, the supremely merciful Srila Jiva Goswami has written the verse Svechaya Likitam Kinchit, indicating that the paramour relationship is also his coveted goal. If the marriages of the young girls of Braja, if that had occurred and been witnessed by a spiritual master, or the sacrificial flame, and brahmanas, then all the discussions in Ujjvala Nilamani from beginning to end would be overturned. So therefore, Jiva Goswami's statement, denoting a husband-wife relationship, it has been written to satisfy the desires of others. So then in this last paragraph of this section, he's quoting and mentioning the numbers of verses in the Rig Veda, other mantras from the Shruti, Chandogya Upanishad, Anandagiri's commentary on Shankar Bhashya, that they also approve of the paramour mood as Vamadevya's method of worship in a story in the Samaveda. Then in the commentary of Panini, we see the origin of the word jara in the phrase jarayanti ti jara. So that completes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's very crystal clear commentary on the superiority of Parakya Ras and the eternality of Parakya Ras. And also it explained why Jiva Goswami seemed from a certain angle to favor Swakya Ras. Now we're going to hear the opinion of other Vaishnavas. Parakya Bhav is the prime speciality in both the objective and the practice of the Sri Gaudiya Vaishnavas. What is the objective? The prayojan. The prayojan, the speciality, is Parakya Bhav. So, and also in the practice of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, in their sadhana, Parakya Bhav. Now prior to them, prior to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, no Vaishnava preceptor had presented this principle before. A hint of Parakya Bhav is seen in Sri Krishna Karnamrita, written by who? Bilva Mangal. So what he does is, what is being presented here is just a listing of all the different verses in the Krishna Karnamrita, and then in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the different verses. In the commentary of Bhopadev, Bhopadev Rishi's Mukta Phala 5.14, and in the collections of poems of Sri Chandidas and Vidyapati. So, in other words, he's saying that a hint of Parakiya Bhav is seen there. Now, in Sri Jayadev Goswami's writings, we definitely find an indication of Parakiya Bhav, although it is not explicitly mentioned. Gita Govinda mentions the word pati, patyur mana kilitam. However, from other references in Gita Govinda, it does not seem that Srimati Radhika is the married wife of Sri Krishna. For example, Dehi padapallavam udadam. Please give your magnanimous feet, which are soft like the buds of lotus flowers. And also in part 1, in the discussion of the rasa dance that takes place in the springtime, Srimati Radhika is seen from a distance, and her jealous anger, man, is difficult to pacify. And further it is said, Sukham utkantikam Gopavadhu katitam vitanoti salilam. Here the word Gopavadhu means wife of a cowherd. That's all from the Gita Govinda. So prior to the Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas, no Vaishnavacharya had given instructions on performing bhajan in the mood of Parakiya Bhav. You got that? Understand this point? Why? Because only Mahaprabhu could bring this. So no Vaishnavacharya had given instructions on performing bhajan in the mood of Parakiya Bhav prior to Mahaprabhu's appearance and his followers. Many persons are under the impression that Jiva Goswami favored the concept of Swakiyavad, but this suspicion is unfounded. Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatan, Sri Raghunath Das, Sri Kavi Karnapur, and the other Goswamis, they have described Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes in terms of Parakiya Bhav. However, Srila Jiva Goswami saw that those qualified to appreciate Parakiya Ras or to perform bhajan in the Paramur mood, they are very rare. That's what he witnessed, Jiva Goswami. So, he, Jiva Goswami, has therefore discussed Mantramayi Upasana. That means worship by means of mantra, meditating on a single pastime described in a single verse. He has put forward that type of worship in his Sri Krishna Sandarbha. Now, in their books, Rupa Raghunath and the other Goswamis, they have described Swarasiki Upasana, Mantramayi Upasana, and Swarasiki Upasana. The service performed within a continuous flow of pastimes that appear spontaneously within one's bhajan. Flow pastimes. Now this Swarasaki Upasana, it is indeed Sriman Mahaprabhu's innermost cherished desire, his Manobishta. Nowhere in their writings have the Goswamis emphasized Mantramayi Upasana. Both Swarasika bhajan and bhajan performed in the Paramur mood, they are discussed in Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in both the core text and in its commentary. And the example of bhajan given in the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is simply presenting the process of Swarasiki bhajan step by step. Our Gurudev, he has given lectures on that section of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which has been made into a book. Do you know what book that is? Where all the discussions that Sanatana Goswami is giving in the latter part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita are regarding Swarasiki Upasana. What's the name of the book? Bhakti what? Bhakti Rasayan. Yes. So the example of bhajan given in the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is simply presenting the process of Swarasiki bhajan step by step. So there Gurudev in his book has told verse after verse after verse after verse, and how there is a continuity. And these verses are given by who? Sanatana Goswami, as a directive how to do this kind of upasana. Moreover, the method of bhajan performed in the mood of a saka or of a priyanarma saka, it is also of the swarasiki method, not the mantramayi method. So even the mantras themselves have been explained as being swarasiki. There is the following description written in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Here's the verse. Goparva Vargai Sakibir Vane Saga Vamshi Mukho Rakshati Vanyo Bhushana Gopangana Varga Vilasa Lampato Dharmam Satam Langayati Taro Yata. Decorated with forest flowers, my worshipful Lord holds a flute to his mouth, and along with his sakas takes the cows out to graze. Because he is a great debauchee, he always enjoys pastimes with the gopis that violate the religious principles of the pious. Now, in Mantramayi Upasana, the meeting of Sri Radha Krishna in one place is described, but paramour love requires the presence of impediments and so forth. So it is a more complex drama that cannot be captured in a single scene. And thus Mantramayi Upasana is not sufficient to capture the mood of Parakya Bhav. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in their commentaries on Ujjvala Nilamani, they have presented detailed deliberations on Svakya and Parakya. Now, both conclusions are appropriate in their respective places, the only difference being their angle of vision. Srila Jiva Goswami has favored Swakya from the perspective of tattva. We said that. A philosophical established truth. Whereas Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has supported Parakya Bhav from the viewpoint of rasa, the mellows or the taste of relationship found in the Lord's pastimes. So just as in the material world there are innumerable universes, and in the divine realm there are countless Vaikunthas, similarly in Sri Krishna's abode of Goloka Braj there are infinite chambers, prakosht, infinite chambers. Although this is not overtly described anywhere, but there are certainly hints in the writings of the Goswamis. Krishna's mood differs according to his diverse manifestations. So while there is meeting in one manifestation, there is separation in another. In meeting, there is the bliss of union, and in separation, the pangs of viraha. Such experiences cannot be denied. And then the last paragraph of this section, before we complete this reading today with the commentary of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the analysis of Parakya and Svakya. Here's the last paragraph from the various acharyas. In Gopal Champu, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad describes the Prakat Prakash. What does Prakat Prakash mean? Prakat. It's manifested, prakat. It's not aprakat. Aprakat means unmanifested. What does prakat refer to? Krishna's manifest pastimes here in the material universes. That's called prakat lila. And aprakat means his unmanifest, to our vision, the eternal pastimes in the eternal nityadam, the eternal abode. So, in the Gopal Champu, Srila Jiva Goswami describes the prakat prakash, that Krishna's pastimes appearing within this world, and the aprakat prakash, Krishna's pastimes appearing in Goloka, situated in the divine realm. How has he described Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champu? He has described them as non-different manifestations of the unlimited pastimes of Goloka. Non-different. So just as innumerable types of pastimes occur in the playful amorous sporting of Madanakya Mahabhav, so similarly, there is no objection to pastimes of Swakiya occurring eternally, pastimes of Parakiya occurring eternally, and also pastimes of simultaneous Swakiya and Parakiya occurring eternally within the different prakosths, chambers. However, after considering them all from a neutral standpoint, one must surely accept the superiority of what? Parakiya. Everyone say. Parakiya. Paramur love. So, how are you feeling, all of you in the audience at this stage of our class? 10 more pages. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I think we need a kirtan break to refocus and to make us ready to hear what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has told. Yes? Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri 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 Radhe Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Kanumana Mohini Radhe Radhe Kanumana Mohini Radhe Radhe Oh Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Vrindavana Vilasini Radhe Radhe Vrindavana Vilasini Radhe Radhe Vrindavana Vilasini Radhe Radhe Ashtashaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe अष्टसखी शिरोमणि राधे राधे अष्टसखी शिरोमणि राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे ओ राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे ओ राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे गोविंद नंदिनी राधे राधे गोविंद नंदिनी राधे राधे वृषभानु नंदिनी राधे राधे वृषभानु नंदिनी राधे राधे गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Shab, I'm going to have you read for a few pages to give a change of attention. Actually, we can move this mic here. You can sit there. Hope to do it with the heart.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur on Swakiya and Parakya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given a beautiful, detailed elucidation of this subject matter in his commentary on the verse Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavitabhis, Brahma Samhita 37. We are presenting it here for the benefit of the sadhaks. Our honorable preceptor, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, has explained in his commentary on this verse of Brahma Samhita, in his commentary on Sri Ujjvala Nilamani, in Krishna Sandarbha, and in other places as well, that Krishna's manifest pastimes are arranged by Yogamaya. Because of their connection with the illusory realm, they appear to have assimilated some mundane features that cannot exist in the intrinsic fundamental reality, Sarup Tattva. Examples of such pastimes include Krishna's killing of demons, associating with the wives of others, taking birth, and so on. It is an established truth that the gopis are extensions of Krishna's personal, intrinsic potency. Hence, since they are unquestionably his own consorts, how can there be any possibility of their being the wives of anyone else? Still, we see that in the manifest pastimes, the gopis do appear to be the wives of others. But this is only an implicit conviction created by Yogamaya. There is a secret meaning in Srila Jiva Goswami's explanation, which, if brought to light, will automatically dispel all types of doubt. The revered Srila Jiva Goswami, the foremost follower of Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, is the Tattva Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Furthermore, he is Sri Radha's confidential assistant in Krishna Leela. There is no secret truth that is unknown to him. Those who do not understand his profound intentions raise arguments for and against his ideas by presenting their own concocted interpretations. According to Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana's vision, there is no difference between the manifest and the unmanifest pastimes. The only distinction is that one manifestation is beyond the material domain, and the other is seen within it. In the region beyond the mundane sphere, everything, the seer and the seen, is transcendently pure. Extraordinarily fortunate people, on receiving the mercy of Sri Krishna, relinquish all material connections and enter the spiritual domain, Chit Jagat. And if it was by their performance of sadhana that they attained perfection in savoring the astonishing varieties of ras, then at that time they can see and delight in all the supremely pure pastimes of Goloka. Others who attain perfection in bhakti and experience the nectar of spiritual ras by Krishna's mercy witness the pastimes of Golok in Bauma Gokul, where Krishna is manifesting his pastimes within any of the material universes. There are some gradations of qualification in both categories of sadhak. As long as one has not attained Vastu Siddhi, the influence of Maya maintains some restriction in one's vision of the Goloka pastimes. Also, realization of one's Sarup varies according to the level of one's attainment of Sarup Siddhi. It must be accepted that a devotee's darshan of Golok will vary according to the degree that he has realized his intrinsic form and nature. People who are tightly bound by Maya have no spiritual vision. Some of them are trapped by the variegated charm of Maya, and some, having taken shelter of impersonal knowledge, the formless aspect of the Absolute, which is opposed to the reality of Bhagavan's personality, proceed toward the path of total destruction. Even after seeing the Lord's manifest pastimes, both types of bound people view such pastimes as mundane, and having no connection with the unmanifest pastimes. Thus, there is gradation in one's darshan of Goloka, depending upon one's qualification. There is a subtle point to note here. Just as Goloka is a completely pure, divine truth beyond the illusory realm, the Gokul that is manifest on this earth is similarly always pure and uncontaminated, even though it appears in the material world by the Lord's spiritual potency, Yogamaya. There is not even the slightest touch of material defect, degradation, or imperfection in either the manifest or unmanifest pastimes. Different people perceive the pastimes differently, depending on their qualification. Defect, contamination, foulness, designation, illusion, ignorance, impurity, falsity, loathness, and grossness are all perceived through the conditioned living entity's intelligence, false ego, and eyes that have been dulled by the material nature. They do not belong to the object of their perception, Gokul. The more one is free from defects, the more one is granted vision of the transcendental truth. The truth is revealed in the scriptures, but the purity of realization for those who deliberate on these principles of established truth will depend upon their qualification.
Where was that? Oh, okay. Okay. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you take the time to actually study what he's telling here, just to hear it in a reading is not sufficient. You have to go over it carefully and understand all the different points that he's making. But it's so sweet and so wonderful how he's reconciling all the different statements. So now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, according to the views of Srila Rupa and Sanatan, whatever pastimes are manifested in the Gokul in this world, this is a very important point that he's making here now. Whatever pastimes are manifested in Gokul in this world, they are also present in Goloka in their pure form without a tinge of Maya. This is a major point that both Rupa and Sanatan are saying that it is there here, the Parakya Ras is here in this realm, so it is absolutely there in its purest form. Without a tinge of Maya. And that is why the mood of transcendental paramourship is also certainly present in some form or another in Goloka in its inconceivably pure state. Now, all the manifestations created by Yogamaya, all of them, they're all immaculate. The transcendental mood that Yogamaya creates of being the wife of someone other than Krishna, or of being his paramour, it is therefore based on pure absolute reality. But what is this pure absolute reality that is based upon? This should be discussed. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is quoting Rupa Goswami in his Ujjvala Nilamani. He quotes there 5 verses. I'm not going to read all the Sanskrit of these 5 verses. I'll just read the first verse. Purvokta diro dattadi chaturbedasya tasya tu patischo papatischeti prabhedav iha vishruto, and so on. So Rupa Goswami is writing there that after deep deliberation on these verses of Ujjvala Nilamani, Sri Jiva Goswami establishes that the transcendental paramour mood, like the pastimes of Krishna's birth, it is a divine delusion created by Yogamaya. Here's the statement. Tatapi pati pura vanitanam dvitiyo vraja vanitanam. So it is understood that the mood of being married exists in Dwarka, while the Braja maidens possess the transcendental paramour mood, not married mood. Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, according to their conclusion, they have also accepted these pastimes of joyful, amorous delusion, vibram vilas. They have accepted them as the contrivance of Yogamaya. Srila Jiva Goswami has established that there is no difference between the pastimes of Goloka and of Gokula. So it must be accepted that the original principle of all pastimes is manifest in Gokul. So what is Gokul and what is Golok? Just so that we have a proper reference here. Goloka is what? Yes, the aprakat lila, the unmanifested eternal pastimes going on in the spiritual world. And what is Gokul, according to the usage of the Goswamis? Gokul is Krishna's pastimes manifested here. Right? Gokul and Goloka. So he says, it must be accepted that the original principle of all pastimes is manifest in Gokul. The original principle of all pastimes is manifested in Gokul. One who accepts the hand of a virgin girl according to the sacred rites of marriage is called a husband. And he who, being overcome by passion, violates conventional morality in order to win another's wife is called a paramour. Now, the religious obligation binding one within matrimonial regulation does not exist in Goloka Braj. Even the concept of husbandhood within the bounds of matrimony does not exist there. So therefore, the gopis, who are Krishna's own potency, they cannot be married to any other person, and they can never be the wives of other men. In that realm of Goloka, it is not possible for the Parakiya and the Svakiya conditions to exist separately from each other. In the manifest pastimes within the illusory realm, the strictures of marriage do exist, but Sri Krishna is beyond their jurisdiction. So therefore, the form of righteous prescription, dharma, found in the sweet realm of Vraja is a creation of Yogamaya. Krishna transgresses this dharma, and he enjoys the transcendental paramour mellow. Only a person whose vision is blocked by material conceptions will see this creation of Yogamaya as a violation of the dharma of this world. So in reality, there is no such degradation in Krishna's pastimes. The paramour mellow, it is the very essence of all rasas. So a denial of its presence in Goloka would minimize that realm. How can you say? The paramour rasa, the essence of all rasas, is not existing in the eternal Nityadam, only here. Come on. So, It is not possible that the highest delight in rasa could be absent from the topmost abode of Goloka. Sri Krishna, who is the source of all incarnations, he relishes this rasa in one way in Goloka, and he relishes in another way in Gokul. Thus, even though there appears to be a transgression of Dharma according to material vision, this truth must also exist in some form in Goloka. So now he quotes the verse from 10th canto, chapter 29. Atmaramo pi ariramat. Atmaramo pi ariramat. That Krishna performed amorous pastimes, although he is Atmaram. He's self-satisfied, but he performed amorous pastimes. Atman avarudha shaurata. That Sri Krishna, whose every desire comes to fruition, he keeps in his heart the hava, the bhava, and the other anubhavs arising from his amorous diversions. He keeps that in his heart. Reme Ramesho Vraja Sundari Bir Yatar Baka Swapratibimba Vibrama. Bhagavatam 33rd chapter. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who gives pleasure to the supreme goddess of fortune, Srimati Radharani, he enjoyed with the beautiful Vraja maidens just as an innocent child plays with his reflection without experiencing arousal. So it is understood from these scriptural statements that Sri Krishna's constitutional nature is to be self-satisfied. Atmaram, that's his constitutional nature, is to be Atmaram, self-satisfied. Now in spiritual planets that are predominated by opulence, what are those? Vaikuntha planets. So in those planets he manifests his own potency as Lakshmi, and he consorts with her in the mellow of wedded conjugal love. There, with the sense of wedlock prevailing, rasa only goes up to the stage of servitorship, dasya. But in Goloka, Krishna manifests millions of gopis. And he enjoys with them continuously, oblivious to any sentiments of wedded love. Oblivious. So in the Svakya conception, rasa does not remain extremely inaccessible, as in the Parakya mood, where the obstacles to meeting make union all the more precious. Is it difficult in the Svakya conception for Krishna and his queens to meet together? No, it's not inaccessible. It's totally accessible. But in Parakya mood, the obstacles to meeting make the union all the more precious. So hence, from time without beginning, the gopis are naturally imbued with an innate conception of being other men's wives. Sri Krishna reciprocates with their mood, and he naturally assumes the identity of their paramour. And taking the help of his flute, which is his dearly beloved intimate companion, he thus accomplishes the rasa dance and the other pastimes. So Goloka, which is eternally perfect and free from illusion, it is the abode of divine rapture. So thus the flow of rasa in the conception of paramourship finds its perfection there. Where? In Goloka. So even the parental mellow is not found in Vaikuntha. Is there a father and mother of Lord Narayan? No. So due to the sense of awe and reverence there is no parental love even. However, in the fountainhead of ultimate sweetness, which is the Vraja situated in Goloka, there exists nothing but the original conception of this ras. Nanda and Yashoda are present there, but Sri Krishna's birth does not actually take place. So in reality, parenthood does not exist in the absence of birth. So Nanda and Yashoda have the self-conception, or the abhiman, of being parents. Understand? Very important. This is the conception, the abhiman. They believe, they understand. Everyone understands. Krishna is the son of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, the Krishna is my son. They have that abhiman of being Krishna's parents. This is substantiated in the verse, Jayati Jananivaso Devaki Janma Vado. That's practically the last verse of the 10th canto. One of the last. So this abhiman is eternal for the sake of perfect ras. And by the same logic, there is no fault or any transgression of scriptural prohibitions in the amorous mellow, since the bhavs of being the wife of another and of being a paramour are simply eternal self-conceptions. So when the essential reality of Goloka appears in manifest Braj, then both of these conceptions, Svakya and Parakya, are seen in a tangible form by worldly vision. This is the only difference between there and here. In the mellow of parenthood, Nanda and Yashoda's mood of being parents becomes apparent in a concrete way through birth and other pastimes. And in the amorous mellow, the idea of the Vraja maidens being the wives of others takes on a perceptible shape in the form of their marriages. In reality, there is no such thing as the gopis having husbands, either in Gokul or in Goloka. Now the scriptures therefore proclaim, Najatu Vrajadevi Nam Patibi Sahasangama. This means that the Brajadevis never had union with their husbands. So thus, Srila Rupa Goswami, the master of the truths of rasa, he has written, Patish chopa patish cheti prabedav iha vishruto. That in the resplendent mellow of amorous love, there are two types of heroes, the husband and the paramour. So Srila Jiva Goswami has written in his commentary on this verse, Pati Puravaditanam Dvitiyo Vrajavanitanam, that the hero of Dwarka Puri's young women is called a husband. The hero of Dwarka Puri's young women is who? Dwarkadish Krishna. And in Vraja, the hero, Sri Krishna, is the paramour of the young women there. Paramour. Yes. Now this passage shows that Srila Jiva Goswami has accepted that in Vaikuntha and in Dwarka, Krishna is a husband, and in Goloka, Gokul, he is the eternal paramour. Now the characteristics of a paramour, they are exhibited to their full extent in the Lord of Goloka or Gokula, Sri Krishna. Although completely self-satisfied, he transgresses his natural state of self-satisfaction. Now the cause for this transgression is his intense passion to meet with the Braja damsels who are others' wives. And the state of being another's wife is nothing but the eternal self-conception, the abhiman of the gopis. So even though the gopis do not factually have real husbands, their transcendental paramour mood is fulfilled just by having the sentiment of being the wives of others. Therefore, transgressing the rules of Dharma out of their intense attachment and all other such symptoms are eternally present in the arena of the super excellent amorous mellow. In the Braja manifest in this universe, this bhav is partially visible in a tangible form to people with mundane vision. Yeah, they can see. So therefore the simultaneous divergence and non-distinction between Svakya and Parakya Bhav in Goloka, it is inconceivable by material intelligence. It can be said that there is no difference between them. And it can also be said that there is a difference. Now, the essence of Parakiya Bhav is loving enjoyment outside of the sanction of wedlock. And the essence of Swakiya Bhav is abstention from unlawful connections. Therefore, Sri Krishna's loving enjoyment with his own personal potency, Swarup Shakti, it can also be understood as Swakiya by this definition. So although these two, Parakiya and Swakiya, are one rasa, they exist eternally as its dual variations. Furthermore, although the form of rasa in Gokula is the same, the mundane observers view it otherwise. Sri Govinda, the hero of Goloka, exhibits his qualities of being the pati of the gopis as well as being their upapati. Both qualities shine forth brilliantly in their pristine splendor beyond all piety and impiety. These same characteristics also exist in the hero of Gokula, but with some diversity created by the agency of Yogamaya. So one may raise the following point, that whatever Yogamaya manifests, it is the absolute truth. Right? Is that not true? Whatever Yogamaya manifests is the absolute truth. So the sentiment of Parakiya Bhav, it would similarly have to be accepted as absolutely true. So to dispel any doubt about this, it is said that the conviction in the Parakiya conception can exist in the relishing of rasa, and that there is no fault in that because it is not unfounded. In other words, the conviction in the Parakiya conception can exist in the relishing of rasa, and there is no fault in that because it is not unfounded. However, whatever base convictions exist in mundane consciousness, they're faulty. They are not present in the pure transcendental world. So Srila Jiva Goswami has indeed given the correct, perfect philosophical conclusion, while the opposing conclusions are also inconceivably true. Simply arguing in vain about the conclusions of Parakiya and Swakiya is a fruitless exhibition of word jugglery. There is no possibility of any type of skepticism rising in the hearts of those who make a thorough and an impartial study of the commentaries by Srila Jiva Goswami and the opposing party. Now, whatever is spoken by pure Vaishnavas, it is true and utterly free from any bias or party spirit. But there is a mystery surrounding their apparent verbal disagreements. Those whose intelligence is materialistic and lacks the spirit of devotion, they cannot fathom the deep secrets of the loving controversies between pure Vaishnavas, and thus they wrongly conceive of such personalities as philosophical adversaries. What's a example of this in our contemporary times? Gurudev and Srila Trivikram Raj. Okay. Anyone else? Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj and Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. That caused a huge uproar. But in actuality, was there really a difference? No. Because Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that was his deep internal moods of meditation, that there cannot be Rath Yatra in Navadvip. Otherwise, all the separation moods of the Navadvipvasis would be so disturbed. Anyway, yes. So we're getting right near the end now of this last part of part 2. The great devotee, Srila Chakravarti Pad, he has wholeheartedly and with the utmost reverence, he has supported the opinion that Sri Sanatana Goswami has given in his Vaishnava Toshani commentary on the 35th verse of the 33rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Gopinam tat patinam cha, that the gopis and their husbands. So when contemplating any opinion connected with the divine pastimes of Goloka and other transcendental realms, we should keep in mind the invaluable advice given by Sriman Mahaprabhu and his followers, the 6 Goswamis. The Supreme Personality and the Absolute Truth is never without form and attributes. Rather, he is full with variegated qualities and pleasurable engagements, which lie completely beyond the material plane. The supremely relishable and the splendid form of the mellows of transcendental service to Bhagavan, tasted through the 4 types of transcendentally variegated ingredients, that is Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvic, and Vyavichari Bhav. So, the supremely relishable and splendid form of the mellows of transcendental service to Bhagavan that is tasted by these 4 types of transcendentally variegated ingredients is eternally present in Goloka and Vaikuntha. So by the agency of Yogamaya, this very rasa of Goloka manifests in the material realm as Vraja Ras for the benefit of the devotees. Vraja Ras. One should know that all the rasas seen in this Gokul, they must surely be found also in Goloka, in their radiantly pure state. So that is why the wonderful varieties of hero and heroines, Krishna and the gopis, and the diversity of rasa in them, and all the surroundings and the paraphernalia of Gokula, including the land, the rivers, the mountain, residents, gateways, bowers, cows, and so on, they collectively exist in the same form in Goloka. So, only the worldly beliefs of those who are imbued with mundane intelligence are missing in Goloka. Not there. You're not going to find these worldly beliefs. Mundane intelligence. Now, different visions of the variegated pastimes in Goloka, they are realized according to one's level of qualification. And thus it is difficult for one to establish a fixed conclusion to determine which aspects of those varieties of visions are illusory and which are pure. It's difficult. Because why? Because everything there is understood according to what level of realization, level of qualification the observer has. So therefore, there is no need to argue and counter-argue about this matter, because it will not elevate one's qualification. The truth of Goloka is filled with inconceivable bhav. The truth of Goloka is filled with inconceivable bhav, and any attempt to investigate this inconceivable reality by the mind, it would prove as unproductive as threshing empty husks. Hence, one should disregard the method of empirical knowledge And one should strive for realization through the practice of unalloyed devotion. On the path of bhakti, it is crucial to renounce any subject matter that would ultimately give rise to an impersonal impression. The pure Parakiya Bhav described in the Goloka pastimes is free from all mundane conceptions and is very rarely attained. So devotees on the path of Raganuga Bhakti, they should adopt this concept and they should perform sadhana. By doing so, they will realize this highly auspicious fundamental truth upon attaining perfection. And final paragraph. When persons of gross worldly intellect endeavor for bhakti in the parakiya mood, they generally end up engaging in immoral activity in the material sphere. Who does? Persons that have gross worldly intellect. They try to do bhakti in the parakiya mood. What happens? They generally end up engaging in immoral activity in the material sphere. Now, our Tattva Acharya, Srila Jiva Goswami, took this into consideration and he presented his line of thought out of great concern. The spirit of pure Vaishnavism is to accept the essence of his statements. What is the spirit of pure Vaishnavism? To accept the essence of his statements. It is an offense to disregard the Acharya by attempting to establish another theory. Gaur Premanande. So this is the end of our study of this book, Ragavartma Chandrika, by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Certainly a reading of this manner is not sufficient to delve deeply into this, because this is meditation. We should review what is here. Not only hearing in the class, but self-study is required. Okay? And we can also look at the different references that were mentioned like this. So, what Ragavartma Chandrika has done is it has cast a moonbeam to illuminate the path of what? Rag. The path of Rag, called Ragavartma. The path of Rag is the only path that leads to Goloka Vrindavan. No other path. There is no other way. Yes. Nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva. There is no other way to Goloka Vrindavan, only through Ragavartma, the pathway of Rag Bhakti. So therefore, in the famous verse, in the beginning chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prem Ras Niryas Korite Asvadan, Rag Marg Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharam. The primary reason for Krishna coming as Mahaprabhu is Prem Ras Niryas. He wanted to taste Asvadan. Krishna wanted to taste the essence of Prem Ras. Prem Ras Niryas. Niryas means the essence of that. And that he did. Actually, taking the mood and the golden color of Srimati Radhika and tasting it from her position. But as Krishna, he also tasted the essence of Prem Ras in sporting with the gopis. That is the highest and is the essence of Prem Ras. So, Korite Asvadan. What Krishna wants to taste, and Krishna also is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. There's no difference. Only the color and the mood is different. But they're both Krishna. But now Krishna is in the mood of Srimati Radhika, to taste from her angle. He already tasted in his pastimes in Gokul. Krishna already tasted all of these rasas from his position of being the what? The object, the Vishay Bhagavan. But Ashray Bhagavan is Srimati Radhika. So Krishna wanted to also experience Srimati Radhika's feelings of prem in her highest moods, in the highest realms of Mahabhav. So that is Mahaprabhu. That's why he's called Prem Purushottama. That he is exhibiting prem. And in what mood? That mood that he is tasting is in the mood of separation. Yes. So, I feel myself fortunate to have had this opportunity for the last couple of months, 2 or 3 months, of having a group of devotees who are capable to make the serious attempt to hear, to understand what is here within this book. As an addendum to this, you can also go back and you can read the book of Srila Gurudev's classes that is made from his lectures with the ISKCON leaders. I forget the title. I forget the title. What? The Hidden Path, yes. The Hidden Path of Devotion, hidden. So that we were also going to read, but on this journey, the time has gone by. I may continue it if I have an audience of devotees that are interested to hear that. I would also like to read that. We already started it in our class and read, 2 or 3 pages of it. But then we came to the actual book, Ragvartma Chandrika. So, to hear the moods and the points that the acharyas are making is always very fortifying to our shraddha, to our faith, to our deep moods of cultivating a strong desire and a greed to enter into these pastimes. So this is one of the books gifted to us in the English language by our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, so that we will understand from all angles. And we should also try to read the various other titles that are in this same category, that are enabling us and assisting us to gradually go in the direction that is given in this book, to begin to walk on that pathway. And as we read the other day in the footnote, that Gurudev was also expressing that for those who have samskaras from previous life already attained, even in their stage of shraddha, in their beginning stage of coming on to practicing the limbs of bhakti, they can also mix Raganuga Bhakti within that. How to do that? We have to read these books. We have to read and study and understand. And also very essential to study Bhajan Rahasya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he is very clearly explaining each and every stage and all the meditations that the devotees have in the stages from Shraddha all the way up to Prem. And of course, Madhurya Kadambini, very essential book, nice big volume given by Srila Gurudev to give the description of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on each and every stage, and what are the intricate details of that stage, and how one can progress in these stages. All are given there. So there's other important books also, but we should make this our life, that we study Srimad Bhagavatam properly throughout our whole life. And this is an expansion of the Srimad Bhagavatam. All these books of our Goswamis and what they heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu based everything on Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is our life. We don't have any other life. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Continually. So I'm very happy that we were able to complete today. And tomorrow or day after you're going? Tomorrow early morning. Late afternoon, leaving from here. Yeah, okay. And your flight early morning of the next day. Yes. So technically, that's the 14th, right? Oh, 13th. Okay. Okay. All right, so Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Ki Jai. Swakiya Parakiya Ki Jai. Ragvartma Chandrika Ki Jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Parikar Ki Jai. 6 Goswamis Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Rupanuga Acharyas Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Want to do one Mahamantra short? Bring the mic.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Jai Sachinandan, Jai Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jai Gaura Hari, Jai Sachi. Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai. Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jai Gurudeva, Gurudeva. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি হরি বল হরি বল শ্রীনিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে হরি হরি বল জয় 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 বে হরি হরি
Jai Krishna, Krishna Krishna,